In this lesson, we are going to go over comparing distributions. Our learning goals today are to determine the 5-number summary and outliers by hand, to create a box plot or 2 box plots using the graphing calculator, and then to use comparative language as we compare 2 distributions. So let's accomplish this by looking at the following scenario. In a recent year, Consumer Reports rated many tablet computers for performance and quality. Based on several variables, the magazine gave each tablet an overall rating, where higher scores indicated better ratings. The overall ratings of the tablets produced by Apple and Samsung are given here. So you can see these ratings. There's no units on them, they're just raw numbers. And we are supposed to compare the distributions of overall ratings for Apple and Samsung. Well, in order to do this, we're definitely going to need some summary statistics. And let's use our rule of make a picture, make a picture, make a picture. All right, so I'm going to choose, I notice it's quantitative data, so I go through my choices. I can do box plots, I could do histograms, I could do a stem plot. Today, I'm going to choose to do a box plot. There's not always a right or a wrong answer. And on the AP exam, you might, use the graphing calculator to look at several different graphs to see what each is showing you. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly go through how to find the 5-number summary by hand. So I have 20 values here. I always start by finding my median. So I just split my data into lower and upper half. So my median is going to be right here between 84 and 84. Well, that means it is 84. My max value is 87, that's easy, and my min value is 73. Now, to find the first and third quartile, you're just finding the medians again. So you look at just this lower half and find the median. It's going to be between the 5th and the 6th number, so this one will again be 83 for quartile 1. And in between, right here for quartile 3, makes it easy when it's the same number side by side, so it would be 86. Now, it is possible that I have an outlier, so a quick refresher of how to find your fences, your upper and your lower fence, would be to take quartile 3 plus 1.5 times the interquartile range would give you your upper fence, whereas your lower fence is 1.5 subtracted from the IQR. So if we have an outlier, it would be any number greater than the upper fence or any number below the lower fence. So I just computed my upper and lower fence, and now I'm going to check and see if I have anything beyond these. So it does not look like I have any upper outliers, but lower outliers, it actually appears as though 73 and 76 are both outliers. Now, rather than me go through the second set of data by hand, I'm going to show you on the graphing calculator how to not only find your 5-number summary, but actually make your box plots. So let's have the graphing calculator find our 5-number summary and then actually create 2 box plots for comparison. So you're going to go to Stat, Edit, and enter the Apple data into List 1 and the Samsung data into L2. And then you will do second quit to get out of that screen. And let's run our 5-number summary for the first set. So I'm going to do calculate, choose one variable statistics, and I'm going to make this say L1, which if I hit second, number 1 will switch, enter, and enter again. And I will copy down my summary statistics on my paper. I can see here's my mean, my sample standard deviation, and I will arrow down and confirm that I got the same 5-number summary that I got when I did it by hand. Okay, do the same for your second list. So stat, arrow over to calculate, again, one variable stats, and this time change it to L2, calculate. And you will need the summary statistics as you start describing the shape and measures of center. Okay, to actually see the box plot, you're going to go into stat plot, which is above y equals. So you hit second y equals, and I'm going to turn the first plot on just by hitting enter. And currently on is highlighted. If off is highlighted, hover over on by moving your arrows and hit enter. Now for the type of graph I want to create, I'm going to choose this box plot here and hit enter. And I'm going to do list 1. And to actually see it, I'm not just going to hit graph, but I'm going to hit zoom stat. So if I hit zoom, and it will adjust my window for me here if I do option 9, which is zoom stat. And here I can see my box plot. I see I have 2 outliers. If you hit trace, the graphing calculator does a nice job of highlighting what quartile or what your min is without the outliers. Here you can see the outliers. Here is quartile 1, the median, quartile 3, and the max 87. So you can see it all very nicely right here. Now, to add the second box plot for comparison's sake, if you go back to stat plot, so second y equals, and change your second plot to on. I believe the graphing calculator can compare up to 3 box plots at one time. So again, turn this box plot on, and I want to switch this to be L2. If you notice, you can change the color depending on the model of your graphing calculator, and my second one, which is the Samsung data, will be in red. And again, I'm going to hit zoom, option 9. And now it does a really nice job of comparing these 2 box plots. Again, if I hit trace, up here it shows me that I'm on plot 1. So if you hit the down arrow, you'll switch to plot 2, and you can check out your 5-number summary here. So on in the AP exam, if you had to actually draw your box plots, make sure that you label your X and your Y axis, which is why I have this second box plot right here. Now, I have my 5-number summary plus some variability listed up here to help me in my explanation. So I start by saying both distributions of overall ratings for Apple and Samsung tablets are skewed to the right. So what factor am I addressing here? Well, really 2 things. I'm talking about shape, plus I've got context. There are 2 outliers in the Apple tablet distribution, and then I say what they are. Overall ratings of 73 and 76. However, the Samsung tablet distribution has no outliers. So what am I talking about here? Unusual features. So I'm going to also write cuss up here to make sure I address everything. So I've got shape and unusual features. The Apple tablets had a slightly higher median overall rating, 84, than the Samsung's tablets, 83. Okay, I want to point out a couple things here. So I'm using comparative language. I'm saying the Apple is slightly higher. I'm not just saying what it is, but I'm comparing it to the other one. And then think about, well, why am I talking about the median? Well, I've already said that I have skewed data. So with skewed data, when I talk about measures of center, so this is the center, check that one off the list, I'm going to use median. Right. More importantly, about 75% of the Apple tablets had overall ratings that were greater than or equal to the median for Samsung tablets. So how do I determine that? Well, if you look at the graph, I'm lining up my median and quartile 1, which is how I'm saying that 75% of this blue one right here is higher than just half of the median for the Samsung. Okay. The final thing I'm missing then is spread. So this is my final part. There is much more variation in overall rating among the Samsung tablets than the Apple tablets. It's easy to see just by looking, observe the range. The IQR for Samsung tablets 11 is almost 4 times larger than the IQR for Apple tablets, which is 3. Okay, so again, I'm using comparative language. I am saying that it is larger, okay, so comparing, and then I kind of even, tell you about how many times larger it is. The other thing you need to recognize is, okay, so why did I talk about the IQR? Well, again, I did talk about the range as well. You'll often see the range in here, but because I talked about the median is resistant and the IQR is resistant, so I addressed both of these. So at this point, you should be able to determine the 5-number summary and outliers, use your graphing calculator to construct the box plot, and then use comparative language to compare 2 distributions. Make sure you are using shape, center, spread, and unusual features, as well as words like higher, bigger, etc.